So we've already completed 31 episodes, and I really have no idea how you've actually installed Node.js. When I started the series, I did so with that bird's eye overview of how Node works. I figured you'd stop watching it if we didn't get quickly into actually building something, even if it was ridiculous, with Node. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I installed Node and a fantastic tool for managing different Node versions. Node is under active development, so new versions come out pretty regularly. With today's episode, you'll be able to experiment with the new ones with ease. Our tool of choice is NVM, which stands for Node Version Manager. It's a project started by Tim Caswell, or Creationix on the internets. Tim is one of those people that you do yourself a favor to follow. I put a few links to his stuff in the show notes. Now, a disclaimer. NVM doesn't run on Windows. There is an NVMW project you can check out, but I haven't used it because I don't have a Windows machine. I don't have anything against Windows, I just don't happen to have a machine running it. Everything you've seen so far has been running on a Linux machine. I'm going to assume that you're on Mac or Linux. Anyway, I'm going to assume that you have NVM's dependencies installed, which is just a C++ compiler. If you don't and don't know how to get them, please leave a comment and we'll take it from there. The installation is dirt simple, and you can use either curl or wget to run it. We'll use wget for no particular reason, and this is just a line I'm copying and pasting from the NVM documentation page. NVM will create a directory in your home directory called .nvm, into which it will install itself. I already had NVM installed on my machine, so that's why mine talked about updating. Your output will be a bit different if you're installing it for the first time. NVM will also lay down an important line in one of the files that gets run when you start a new terminal session. For me, on my Ubuntu installation, it added this to my profile file in my home directory. This file is what makes NVM available to your terminal session. Exactly where that gets put doesn't matter as much as whether or not it's actually getting run. Especially on OS X, it can be a bit challenging to understand which files get run at terminal session start time. That's beyond the scope of this episode, but I put some links in the show notes to help you figure it out if NVM isn't getting sourced into your session. Okay, with that installed, now we need to actually install Node. Let's see a few basic commands. Want to know what versions of Node you have installed already? NVM ls. You can see that I have version 10.26 installed. On a fresh installation, that shouldn't return anything. As of yesterday, where today is the day I wrote the script for this episode, version 10.31 is the latest in the 10 series. And of course, even number series like 10.26 or 10.31, those stand for stable releases, whereas the 11x series is the more experimental ones. How would you have known that without following Node's Twitter feed? NVM ls remote to the rescue. See that version 10.31? That's how you'd know. Well, let's get up to date. NVM install v0.10.31. Wow, it even tells me I'm using that new version, which I can verify with node ---- version. But what if I open a new terminal? Node ---- version? Uh-oh, it reverted. How do we fix that? NVM supports an alias concept, by which we can give descriptive names to our installed versions. For example, if I wanted to lock node slash at something, I could do nvm alias node slash v0.10.31. The format is nvm, the word alias, the name you want to give the alias, and then the node version. There's a special alias called default, which auto-loads into your terminal session. If I type nvm alias, I can see a list of my aliases, and sure enough, on my machine it's set to v0.10.26. On a fresh installation, it isn't set to anything, so I recommend setting this right away. Using the above format, we get nvm alias default v0.10.31. Now when I start a new session, I get the latest. If I want to remove an alias, I can do that too, with nvm unalias node slash, for example. And I can even remove a version of Node if I want to. I think it's time I pitch version 10.26, so behold NVM's glory here. NVM uninstall v0.10.26. But uh-oh, it tells me I can't uninstall the currently running version, so I'll need to switch to a different one first. That's easy. NVM use v0.10.31. I could have just as easily used nvm use default, giving it the name of an alias rather than a specific version, since they are, aliases. With NVM, installing Node is a breeze. It's incredibly fast and useful, and I very highly recommend using it. I can't think of a single reason not to use it. This is also the first episode where I anticipate things not working exactly the same for everyone. So if you have problems, please post them in the comments so that we can answer them for everyone's benefit. There's not much else to say in the outro this time. So until next time, happy coding.